Hi, I am at Forney Creek Conservation Area today. Such a beautiful day, last day of February. So, feels like spring's coming. There's about 7 miles of trail here. Trying to explore most of it today. So, some of it goes along little creeks. We're supposed to go by a couple ponds. We haven't gotten to the ponds yet. Much of it is out and back, but there are a couple little loops. So we're gonna check it out today, and thought it was fun. Found a familiar sign as we started on the trail for the Carolina Thread Trail. So, part of that larger trail system. So Forney Creek Conservation Area is on the west side of Lake Norman in North Carolina. So I believe the town is Denver, but everyone would think of Denver, Colorado, not Denver, North Carolina. So far I've seen pretty easy trails, a little bit of incline, but very clear trails to navigate, so that's nice. Not too many roots and things to trip on. That'd be a pretty good hill to fall down there though. It's quite steep. So the sign at the beginning of the trail said that bikes can use these trails when conditions are not wet and muddy. General rule of thumb. But this would be a fun trail for me to ride on. Not too challenging, but a nice ride in the woods would be great. As I've been sorting through, figuring out where, that's a pretty wild tree. Let's look at that real quick. Like twisted on itself when it was growing. That's wild. Huh. As I've been trying to navigate my path for where I'm going and what I'm going to be working towards in my race of life. I guess I've been a little reflective, and one of those pieces that I've been reflective about is looking back at some of those big life-changing moments and seeing how they've affected me and influenced where I am now. So everybody's big moments are different. There might be some that are typical, but the way that we're all affected by them is different. So this tree makes it a little more evident what's happened to some of these trees. You can see that this tree was like wrapped by a vine. I'm guessing they came around and cut the vine off, and then the tree was able to continue growing. That other one, it was kind of more just like one twist, but this one definitely can see how it was wrapped around like a snake. That's pretty wild. Love finding cool things outside and figuring out how they came to be, if it's something like that, or just admiring nature for what it is. So one of the big life-changing moments for me, like many people, was when I had my son. For a lot of people, it's when they have kids. And that was life-changing for me, in that I felt like I was right where I was supposed to be, and I had great purpose. There was no question, and just felt very confident with where I was at that time. I felt like kind of unsettled prior to that, and so I felt like I had my place. That was who I was supposed to be. So another one that has stood out to me that I knew was a big one, but I guess I wasn't realizing how much it has and continues to impact me. But losing my brother, I have been recognizing, was just huge for me in so many ways, and my perspective and outlook on life, as for what life is, definitely changed from that one. And made me examine where I was with my life, where I want to be. So that's been one that's continued to play a big part for me, because I think since then I have felt more of that unsettled feeling again, but only in certain ways. So it's been a bit of a challenge, but one of the things that we always say, we want to look for the good that comes out of the tough situations, right? So one of the few good things, like I guess the best thing that I have seen come from it yet, is like that reassurance in me that life is worth living well. Wow, the road is really loud. There.
A little shy.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too. And so that life was really worth living well. Oh, here's one of our ponds. You can kind of see it through there. Looks quite brown, so it kind of blends in. And at that point, I was already really struggling with the abuse in my life in that relationship, and recognized that it was wrong and that's not how it should be. But it was a lot easier for me to accept that I needed to stand up for myself and move on after reflecting on that some and having that confidence that my life is worth living to its fullest. And I wasn't able to do that. Me as a person was being stifled, and my life wasn't being fully lived. So I mean, while that stinks in some ways because it's a whole life change, but it's a good thing in personal growth. So that's been the little light flickering that I've seen as the little bit of good in the dark. Hopefully we get to see some more of that. Hopefully there is more good that comes of it, but for now that's what I've seen. So it's hard to lose someone at any point. Even harder to lose someone that has an important part in your life and you have that connection with. And I think then a step further, it's even harder to lose someone that you wouldn't have expected to lose at that time. My grandfather passed away at a similar time, and yes, we were very sad that he was gone, but he was about 100 years old, and he was ready to go. He knew he had lived his life. His life had been full, and he was ready to go. And so yes, we were sad, but it's been okay to move on from that. Losing a brother that shouldn't have been gone yet, it's hard. I know there's other situations that people experience. Lots of people lose family members and loved ones to things like cancer and such, or other types of accidents. So, but when I've been trying to understand more about how his death has influenced me, some of the things I'm starting to realize have even more of a role than I thought they did, but feeling like I'm having good purpose in what I'm doing and that I'm not wasting time. So that's a challenge when I don't feel like I have many open doors and wiggle room for what I can do with my life right now. So trying to find those ways that I can have purpose with those limitations that I do have right now, and to make an impact on others the way that I want to. I want to be able to help others, and so figuring that out, how that can actually work right now is where I am. I have a nice little bridge here. The water down there is quite clear, very sandy bottom. It looks very brown here though. It will be nice when there's more green and whatever other color decides to come out around here. Oh wow, this is a whole lot of trees in here with a whole lot of water, and there's been some beaver activity. I see at least a couple of the trees that have been taken down by beavers. This is just a pretty weird view. Definitely some busy beavers around here. Can see some marks on that tree. They've started to try to take it down, but either they gave up or they're gonna come back for it. Same over here. They got one down, but that was a while ago because it has some sort of fungus growing on it in front of this tree that's still standing. And that one, they took at least a third of it out. That's why there's like some sap that has oozed out of that tree. It's shining in the sun, the little drops of it. But this just looks so weird. It's like a whole forest in a pond. On this side too. And the water level definitely has been higher. There's a lot of water line evidence on the base of the trunks. So it's at least 8 inches higher. Some look much higher than that. pretty weird. But we have a little land bridge between it, so we'll take it. There's some turtles on a log over there, getting some sun. Looks like we're going out to a little observation point. I'm so appreciating the beautiful weather today. It is so nice. It's nice to be outside without a jacket on. Huh. Well, we definitely found the pond. It is a little observation point. And some of the beavers' work has collected here. It looks like we found the other pond as promised. There's a bunch of ducks out on this one, swimming around. Let's see if we can get a better view up here. You can also see a road that goes by. Those ducks are definitely moving over there. They're all on that side though. There's a lot more plant life coming out of the water, so I'm guessing that's a better place for food for them. There's a little turtle right there. He is so cute and so still. Oh, he thinks we don't see him. Looks like this log has another turtle, much bigger. Well, they said that there was some wildlife here, so glad we're seeing some. It's a good day for it. Yeah, out on that log there's another turtle. So one of the life events that I was anticipating being the next big change for me was not really until I graduated Caden and he went off to college, and then that's when I was expecting to really find more direction on my own. But how school has gone with him and stuff, we ended up having to start dual enrollment earlier than planned, and then also did more full-time. So it's not so much dual enrollment, but it is. So he's enrolled in homeschool and college, but oh my goodness, that's a tiny little turtle in there. But basically all of his work is being done through the college now. So that and the shift that I hadn't seen coming was his need for different kind of attention, not with his education, but just other support with life and learning how to do life with a little more support than than expected. And so that change came sooner than I had anticipated. And so figuring out how to balance what he needs and earning enough money to be able to do what we need to do, but also being able to do a job that I feel has purpose, because that definitely contributes to my purpose, especially now that I'm not doing as much of his education. I feel like I'm a lot more of a proctor and administrator than I am his teacher now. And so that role that I really had, that was like, yeah, that I'm doing something with a purpose that gives meaning, that is gone. And so big shift, creating my unsettled moments now. But I've been starting to get a little excited about figuring out what I'm gonna do, and I guess coming across some things that are possibilities, because I felt like I wasn't going to find anything, and it may take a while to find the right job for me that I have the passion for and that I can actually do with the limitations and schedule that I have. And so finding some over this last week has been encouraging. So we'll see if any of them end up being the right one. I'll be ready to celebrate when I find something, though. But I don't know. This is where I'm supposed to be for this season. Then we'll see what the next big life change is that makes a big impact on me. Starting to see some green grass popping through. A little bit of green leaves trying to come out on some of these bushes. So the forest floor and under layers are looking a little bit more lively. But beyond that, it's pretty solemn. This part of the trail has a little bit more hill to it. Kind of fun. And I feel a little further back in the woods, so that's neat. Oh, that's a pretty cool look up there. Huh. So I encourage you, as you're going through figuring out where you're going, where your passions are, what drives you, reflect on some of those things that might have had a bigger impact on you. I feel like I'm maybe on like the tip of the iceberg, understanding how I've been affected by some things, and so I'm going to continue to dive a little deeper, see what's underneath and what I can learn about my experiences, myself, and then figure out where I'm going with that. So take some time for you. All those things have meaning in our lives and impact us. Can be good or bad, but understanding both is definitely helpful. So I'll see you next time on the trail with Heart.